Taxation. All three levels of government, federal, state and local, levy various taxes and charges on businesses. The federal government levies income tax on individuals, company tax on incorporated businesses, and the goods and services tax on final goods and services at their point of sale. The federal government also levies a capital gains tax that may apply to some businesses, as well as fringe benefits tax on employers who are judged to have given their employees benefits such as unlimited use of business vehicles. The New South Wales government levies payroll tax on businesses that have a total wage bill over a certain threshold, while local governments levy rates on residential, commercial and industrial properties. These rates are paid by the owner of the properties. Okay, so in our federal taxes, we can see that most of the federal tax comes from our income tax, and the federal tax that will affect all businesses is income tax, whether personal or company. So if you have a business, then there will be a company tax, and this is levied on businesses that have incorporated. The rate of company tax is a flat 30% at present. However, many small businesses are not incorporated. This means that a sole trader will be taxed the same as an individual wage and salary earner. And if they are actually earning a wage somewhere else, and they have a business, maybe a home business, then the tax that they pay on their business will have to be added to what they earn. With a partnership, each partner is taxed as an individual, and each partner also enjoys the tax-free threshold. So a tax-free threshold is a certain amount that you can earn before you have to pay taxes. Therefore, it may be profitable for a sole trader to go into a partnership with a husband or wife or child as a method of minimising tax. There could be an advantage for a business to incorporate. For a couple of years ago, 2011, 2012, if an individual's taxable income exceeded $80,000, the tax rate rises from 30% to 37%. Therefore, it would be a benefit tax-wise if a business earning a taxable income over $80,000 changed its legal structure to that of a company. So when we are in business studies looking at advantages and disadvantages of the different legal structure within our businesses, we should take into consideration tax. Each business also has to pay a GST, and as you know, that stands for Goods and Services Tax. The federal government imposes a GST of 10% on the supply of most goods and services by businesses registered for GST. A number of suppliers are GST free. Many basic foodstuffs, medical and educational services are all GST free. GST turnover is gross business income. If it exceeds $75,000 in any month or over a 12-month period, the business must register for GST. If a business is registered for GST, it needs to include GST in the price it charges customers for goods and services. GST is paid at each step in the supply chain. Businesses do not usually bear the economic cost of GST. This is borne by the final consumer, who cannot claim GST credits. While businesses do not bear the economic cost of GST, they collect it. GST-registered businesses need to put aside the GST they have collected so it can be paid when due. Businesses report GST amounts to the Australian Taxation Office, otherwise abbreviated to ATO, and claim GST credits. GST the business has paid when purchasing the inputs. By lodging an activity statement or an annual GST return, the business must pay the ATO and GST amount due by the reporting date. An impact on GST registered newly established SMEs will be additional financial record keeping to comply with the requirements of the ATO. Also, the federal government requires you to have a business activity statement, and this is a report on and pay taxes to. This is a report of everything that is actually happening in your business. Businesses must also be aware of the pay-as-you-go taxation, and a business must make sure that if they actually have people employed, that they are actually paying, keeping tax from the employee, and that goes to the federal government. Okay. In our state government, we have payroll tax, and the New South Wales government charges businesses that have a total wages bill over a certain threshold, and that is for payroll tax. The payroll tax wages threshold for the period 1st of July 2011 to 30th of June 2012 is $678,000, and the rate of payroll tax from July 2011 was 5.45%. We also have stamp duty that needs to be paid, and stamp duty is something that goes to a tax that goes to the New South Wales government, and it is for transferring land ownership. And this could actually impact a new business in the establishment stage of a business. Our local fees and charges that a business has to pay. The New South Wales local governments mainly raise funds on taxes on land value, like council rates, for example, of residential, industrial and commercial properties. So if you're in business and you own your premises, you're going to have to pay rates on that. Land value is determined by the New South Wales Valuer General's Department, so they work out how much the land is actually worth. And local councils levy rates on all land within their boundaries, and the business rate is usually higher than the residential rate per dollar of land value. This has implications for entrepreneurs thinking about establishing a small business. If the business can legally and operationally be run from a home, there is a good chance that the residential rate will apply compared to being established on land zoned for business. Local councils implement policies of providing infrastructure such as footpaths and regulating the use of these by businesses. Many hospitality businesses such as restaurants and cafes like to increase their operations by having footpath dining. Councils regulate this and can apply charges per table. Many councils also impose a levy on businesses by requiring them to provide a minimum amount of parking for customers. If the business cannot do this, the council imposes a charge. Some councils also develop and rent out business premises to both retail and industrial concerns.